so much for tuning in to the Weather Network. I'm Farah Dhalla in for Karen Johnson. And we have so much to talk about throughout the hour. First, we'll give you a full look at your local forecast. That's up in less than 1 minute. And then these top 3 stories. Starting first with the F3 tornado. And also, we'll be talking about Irene. All these details just ahead. But first, a full look at your locals. Your Weather Watch continues right here on the Weather Network. I'm Farah Dhalla, and now that you're all up to date on your local forecast, let's talk about some of the big weather stories happening, not just in Canada, but around the world. If we're not talking about a tornado, we're talking about an earthquake. If we're not talking about an earthquake, we're talking about a hurricane. And I'll have all these details just ahead. But first, the big story, of course, in Canada is in Ontario, in Goderich. After some more severe weather in the forecast, this isn't going to help clean up efforts one bit. Another area of low pressure will be bringing in, again, at risk of some severe weather conditions, including potentially a risk of a tornadic event, although that's not confirmed as of yet. But the weather is shaping up very similar to what we saw just this weekend, with large hail, potentially damaging winds, and heavy downpours. Now stay with us, because although active weather is in the forecast, we will have even here in Canada, our own very own meteorologist Gina says she was at home in Toronto using her internet, and she felt that tremor. Now, I was in Markham and I didn't feel it, although it was a 5.8 on the Richter scale, and it occurred about 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Now, talking about weather in Canada, well, we're seeing in the BC coast seasonal conditions, 20 with a mix of sun and cloud, and even warmer in towards the interior. Calgary, you too are seeing sunshine, really warm conditions, a ridge of high pressure giving you some scorching heat. You know, Winnipeg beat the hot spot in the country at 37 degrees plus on Tuesday. Now, the good news is this high pressure is going to be pushing east. So for you in Saskatchewan and Winnipeg, slowly cooling down, but Alberta, you'll be warming up. Now, let's talk about some of the risk of some thunderstorms across the GTA for the pre-dawn hour. Notice in southern Ontario, these are just storms ahead of the cold front, and the ingredients are there. And what those are is warm, humid air mass, and then that passing cold front could be bringing in some pretty intense storms across parts of the GTA later in the day on Wednesday into Thursday. And, you know, of course, all eyes will be on Goderich and the shores of Lake Huron, just because it's very similar to the setup that we saw just earlier this week. Now, taking a look at the East Coast, seasonal for you finally clearing out, and this is supposed to be the trend for the next couple of days, but then rain returns later on in the week. I'll let you know in your long range. So this area of low pressure that we'll be keeping an eye on is going to be pushing further east on Thursday, affecting the Maritimes, bringing in some unsettled conditions, potentially even some embedded thunder showers. High pressure builds behind it, so we'll notice a clearing trend for parts of Ontario for Thursday and Friday. Hot and humid right across southern prairies. Towards the north, a bit of instability, bringing in a chance of showers, but fair across the BC coast with mainly sunny skies. Now on Friday, high pressure dominates the west, as you can see. We might see a bit of a chance of some thunder showers just at the foothills of Alberta due to daytime heating, but that's not an all-day event. In fact, mainly sunny. Now, taking a look at the east, humid and hot across southern Ontario. Most of the instability now along Atlantic Canada, but by Saturday, things dry up for you in the Maritimes. Newfoundland hanging on to those showers. High pressure dominates the prairies, except this area of instability may be bringing in some thunder showers just at the border of Saskatchewan and the States. More Weather Watch continues after this. In less than 1 minute, we'll have a full look at your local forecast. Of course, you know they come up every 10 minutes on the 10s. But rarely at the Weather Network do we talk about all 3 weather celebrities. Weather celebrity number 1, the tornado in Goderich, the aftermath. But first, a full look at your local forecast right now.